Lesson 147. Will and would for habits. Typical. Give me an example of the word will used for a present habit, please.
Sarah loves books and will often spend the whole weekend reading.
Give me an example of the word would used for a past habit, please.
As a child, I would ride my bicycle every day.
When speaking about past habits, what's the difference between would and used to?
When speaking about past habits, the difference between would and used to is that we can use would only to speak about behavior, whereas we can use used to speak about both behavior and states.
Make a sentence with the words used to that could not be made using the word would instead, please.
That building used to belong to my family.
Primary. Secondary. At what age does a child move from primary school to secondary school in this country?
A child moves from primary school to secondary school at the age of 11 in this country.
Associate. What kind of food do you think people associate with your country?
I think people associate fish and chips with my country.
Do you think it's a good idea to meet one's work associates socially?
Yes, I think it's a good idea to meet one's work associates socially.
Why?
Because if you get along with the people you work with, you'd work together better.
Fellow. Society. As a noun, what does the word fellow mean?
As a noun, the word fellow means the same as man.
Do you ever talk to your fellow travellers when you're on a train?
Yes, I sometimes talk to my fellow travellers when I'm on a train.
PC. Monitor. Mouse. Keyboard. Printer. Click. What do we call the screen we look at when we're using a desktop PC?
We call the screen we look at when we're using a desktop PC a monitor.
What's the advantage of having a wireless mouse, keyboard, and printer for a PC?
The advantage of having a wireless mouse, keyboard, and printer for a PC is that they can be moved around more easily, and everything on one's desk looks tidier.
On the internet, how many times do we have to click to follow a link?
On the internet, we only have to click once to follow a link.
Spectator. Athletics. Medal. At an athletics competition, what do the spectators do when the winner of an event receives a medal?
At an athletics competition, the spectators cheer when the winner of an event receives a medal.
Nest. What do we call the home a bird builds for itself?
We call the home a bird builds for itself a nest.
Take advantage of. Facility. When you stay at a hotel, do you usually take advantage of all the facilities?
Yes, when I stay at a hotel, I usually take advantage of all the facilities.
If you felt that someone was trying to take advantage of you, would you say anything to them?
Yes, if I felt that someone was trying to take advantage of me, I'd say something to them.
Rare. Name me a rare metal, please.
Gold is a rare metal.
Embarrass. Do you get embarrassed easily?
No, I don't get embarrassed easily.
Scared. Are you scared of big dogs?
No, I'm not scared of big dogs.
Hire. Plumber. What's the difference between hire and rent?
The difference between hire and rent is that the word hire suggests a shorter period of time than rent.
If you have a problem with your central heating, who do you need to hire to fix it?
If you have a problem with your central heating, you need to hire a plumber to fix it.
Huge. Give me an example of the word huge, please.
He lives in a huge house in the country. He now realizes that leaving his job was a huge mistake.
Lonely. When people go and live in another country because of their job, do they sometimes feel lonely at first?
Yes, When people go and live in another country because of their job, they sometimes feel lonely at first.
Do people always feel lonely when they're alone?
No, people don't always feel lonely when they're alone.
Definition. If you want to know the definition of a word, what kind of book do you look in?
If I want to know the definition of a word, I look in a dictionary.
Loads of. If you had loads of money, do you think you'd be a more generous person?
Yes, if I had loads of money, I think I'd be a more generous person.
Make the best of. Make the most of. Are people who try to make the best of unpleasant situations usually happier than people who don't?
Yes, people who try to make the best of unpleasant situations are usually happier than people who don't.
Do you always make the most of your free time, or do you sometimes waste your time?
I don't always make the most of my free time. I sometimes waste my time.